Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are well. We are good over here. It has been a minute since I've posted, but I am back and excited to jump into this next video. One dumb thing I want to address before we get started, because I'm going to be holding up a bunch of books. I am missing 2 fingers of nail polish. I know that. We are not always put together perfectly. I could paint them, but then I'd have to wait for a little while to start this video. And I really just want to get to it. So let's jump in and get started. Today, I want to talk about some books that I am really looking forward to reading in the next little bit. We're not going to call this a monthly TBR because the last time I did that in February is a major fail. Something about the pressure of having an actual list that I wanted to get to, I clammed up. I totally froze. I don't even think I read any of those books in February. So we're not gonna call this a monthly TBR. We are just gonna talk about some books that I have that I'm really, really excited to get to. And we'll talk about why and maybe where I got the recommendations from. And then you guys can let me know down in the comments if these are things that you have read and kind of hype me up. And we'll go from there. I might have some things that you guys haven't heard of. There were a few things in here that I hadn't heard of that I got from other recommendations from other content creators. So maybe we'll find some new stuff today. All right, let's jump right in. All right, the first book I want to talk about today is The Stranger in the Lifeboat by Mitch Albom. Historically, Mitch Albom has been a very successful author for me. I have loved almost everything I've read by him. I actually own, I think, everything he's written. This one I just took out from my library because we are trying to not spend so much money on books and our library has lots of options available. I actually started this last night. I'm not very far, maybe like 30 pages or something like that. But it's a nice, short, sweet little book like most of his are. This one, from what I've gathered so far, is about like a super mega yacht that was built by a billionaire, and he invited all these people onto it, leaders of industry. And it was going to be this big production. It's obviously fully staffed as well, and the yacht goes down in the middle of the ocean. We are left on a lifeboat with some of our survivors, and our survivors come across a man floating in the ocean who was not on the boat, and he claims to be the Lord. So we're going to call him, he claims to be God. And it's just kind of interesting. We actually have a few timelines. We have the timeline where our survivors are in the lifeboat floating in the middle of the ocean and they meet this stranger. And then we have a timeline of current day, which I believe is, they say, is a year after the yacht went down, where an inspector has found some debris from the yacht washed up on shore. And then we also get little snippets of media from like the day of the yacht launching, reporting from the yacht and stuff like that. So we're getting several different timelines. We're trying to gather a full picture of what really happened, what went down, and we're meeting this stranger. Like I said, I've historically loved all of Mitch Albom's books. They tend to be a little more whimsical. A lot of his books have to do with faith and with God and different iterations of what that might look like. I'm probably gonna finish this one before I dive into any of the other ones because I've already started and because it is so short. We're gonna get into this one today, I think. But yeah, really looking forward to this one. All right, the next book I am really excited to dive into this month, hopefully. This one should be this month because it is Kayla at Books and Lala. It's her book club book of the month selection, the Literally Dead book club. Wow, that was quite a tongue twister for me. Jeez Louise. Is All Her Little Secrets by Wanda M. Morris. I don't know much about this book, but from what I gather, it is kind of one of these murder mysteries. A woman is described as having it all, an Ivy League education. She's an attorney, maybe? Oh yeah, she's a corporate attorney. Well-paying job as a corporate attorney, and she is having a relationship, kind of under-the-table relationship with her boss, and one day she goes to meet him and he is dead. She ends up leaving and just kind of going on with life as normal because she doesn't want to be involved, but the rumor mill starts churning and her name comes up and I don't know, chaos ensues apparently. It looks like she's gonna uncover some shady dealings. I mean, this is direct from the inside. Shady dealings. She's trapped in an impossible ethical and moral dilemma. She has secrets in her past. This has all the makings of just a good thriller, and I trust Kayla's judgment, and I'm excited to finally participate in one of her book club book selections. This is the first one I'll have done. So hopefully we can finish this one in April and then we can follow along with her, her live update on this one. So yeah, All Her Little Secrets. All right, the next book I'm really looking forward to getting into is kind of a continuation of a book from my last vlog, which was Love Warrior by Glennon Doyle. I really ended up liking that book, so I got Untamed from my local library as well. This one I have also started on audio briefly. It's different than Love Warrior. I thought it was going to be more of a memoir style. It's definitely less memoir, more thought-provoking essays about life and being a woman and feminism and things like that. So it's a little bit different from Love Warrior, but I am looking forward to getting to this one since I did like Love Warrior so much. So hopefully sometime in the next several weeks, again, not a monthly TBR, we're gonna get to this one and finish this and I can report back on that one. All right, the next two books that I've picked up are recommendations that I found from a, what are they calling them? A book talker? I think it's called Book Talk. If you guys don't do TikTok and you have any interest, there is a huge section of TikTok that is devoted to people giving book recommendations, just like there is on YouTube and Instagram. And I found a guy that I like to follow. His name is Baker Reads. If you have an account, it's just baker.reads. And he gives really good book recommendations. So he recommended recently 2 thrillers that sound really, really good that I'm really excited about. We're having this receipt issue again. The first one is The First Day of Spring by Nancy Tucker. This one he describes as a thriller about a woman who kills a child when she is also a child. She has the urge to kill and she does, and that's how the book opens up. She kills this child and then we fast forward, she's never caught for the crime. And now we fast forward to when she is an adult and now she has a child of her own and it's described as the past is catching up with her. So I have to assume that the police are getting closer to solving this crime that she committed when she was a child. And now that she is a mother that has a child, life obviously looks a little bit different for her. This book is blurbed on the back by Paula Hawkins, Lisa Jewell, both great like kind of thrillery authors, and Ashley Audrain, who wrote The Push, which was my favorite book of last year. So I'm excited to jump into this one. This TikToker gave it great reviews and spoke really highly of this one. So I cannot wait to dive into The First Day of Spring. I'm just realizing now that every time I move these books, you can't see what they say. Awesome. Guys, I'm gonna interrupt this book chat with a coffee recommendation. I do this all the time, get this coffee. It is, I'm trying to take this Starbucks sticker off. It's totally my go-to. Success. I don't know why that was bugging me so much. But if you're looking for a new iced style coffee, but want like a little bit something extra, I always get the Starbucks. I get 3 shots of espresso poured over ice and put into a venti cup. So when I pick it up, the espresso is like only to here. So it's a big empty cup with espresso up to here. And then I put these Premier Proteins in there. Can't even see that because this glare. Hang on. There we go. Gotta pull the curtain closed. These Premier Proteins. This one is cake batter is the flavor, but they've got vanilla and caramel and peanut butter chocolate, and they have a coffee flavor, which goes great in your coffee. Makes for such a good coffee. I love this. It's totally my go-to. You get like all this protein, and I don't eat breakfast. It replaces breakfast for me, which is nice. But yeah, there we go. Just let's interrupt our book content with a little coffee content. Try it out. It's really good. Okay, sorry for the little segue. Felt compelled to get that out there. Let's take a sip. So delicious. The second recommendation from that book talker is a book called The Perfect Child by Lucinda Berry. He actually recommended this for fans of The Push, which immediately obviously caught my attention. This one is about a married couple who are happy and successful and living their lives, and the only thing that it's missing is a child. And one day a child turns up. They end up, I think she's 6, they end up taking her in, looking to adopt her, but very quickly realize that she may have more difficult mental issues than they are prepared to deal with. It sounds like it's right up the alley of The Push. Maybe a parent not knowing if they're the crazy ones. Could this child possibly be crazy? Unreliable narrator situation potentially, but because he recommended this for fans of The Push, I immediately picked it up. And I'm really, really hoping this is a win for me because, like I've mentioned, The Push was my favorite book of last year. I have read so many thrillers and that one just totally blew me away. So I'm looking for another Push situation. So here's hoping that this is that. And the last book that I am so excited to get to, I can't even fathom when I'm gonna be able to sit down with this because it is also one of the most intimidating books that I own, and I did have to own it because you cannot get this from a library because of, well, you'll see. And that is S by J.J. Abrams and Doug Dorst. If you have not heard of this book, which I hadn't, I feel like I must be living under a rock, but if you haven't heard of this book, it is super weird. House of Leaves style weird from what I gather. So it comes in this sleeve, and you take it out, and the book itself is called Ship of Theseus. Theseus? I don't know. By V.M. Straka. Okay, so different title. Weird, right? And then you open it up, and it's actually disguised as a library book. I have to close this for sure. You can't see any of this. I think that's better. There's our title page. So then there's all this handwriting on here. You know, all this stuff. It's really interesting. So what this is, from what I can gather from reading other reviews and synopses, is this itself is a book that you should read. It's got, you know, it's a book, Ship of Theseus. But intermittent in here is a conversation between two people that took this book out of the library. So we have Jen in this blue pen, and I don't know what this guy's name is. He didn't sign his name. I don't know, I'm sure it's in the synopsis somewhere. But then this other guy in the black printing who is writing back to her. They're having a conversation in the margins and in the notes of this book. And it goes throughout the entire book. Like, there's notes back and forth to each other. And then there's things like this in there. Little mixed media things. Oh my gosh, did I lose the page that was on? I really hope not. So that's like the reason you can't take it out of the library. It has too many of these things in here. So I can't even like hold it up because this stuff is gonna fall out. But like here on page 32 and 33, there is a news article, like from a newspaper put in here. I mean, look at this. It's like totally fake, just like news stories, like if you ripped it out of a newspaper. So I've looked up a few ways that you should read this book. And one is that you should read the book cover to cover as a book. Then you should go back and read the notes in the margins cover to cover. But I'm not really sure when you're supposed to read the inserts. I don't know if they go along with the story of this book or if they go along with the story of the two students corresponding with each other. But either way, this book looks so stinking cool. Like I said, very intimidating. I'm not even quite sure how to read it. It's so much to get through. I mean, look at this. Like this page is like just full of notes and underlining and conversation between these two characters. I mean, this is wild. This book is crazy. And I'm so excited to get into it. I just don't know what to expect. It's very intimidating. I have not actually read House of Leaves, but I have been so intimidated to get to it because of how strange it is to read. So if you have read this or have any experience with this, please comment down below and let me know how I should read this, what you thought of it. I'm just so excited. I think this book is so stinking cool. Like, I'm even like impressed having this on my shelves. I'm like, oh my God, yeah, you want to see this cool book? Don't know if I'm ever gonna read it. Want to read it, need to read it. I mean, I bought it, but it's so intimidating, so unique. I cannot wait to get to this. But we have some easier books we should probably get to first. But yeah, let me know if this is something you guys have read, because I'm super interested in talking to somebody about this and trying to understand the best way to tackle it and maybe getting like a better synopsis. Do I go in blind, not knowing? Is that better? Is that the better way to do it? I don't know. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this. If it's something you've heard of, something you've read, something you're interested in, let's start a conversation about it. And that's it, guys. 6 books that I am super excited to read in hopefully the coming months. Hopefully we can get a few done sooner, but we're not gonna put any pressure on it, because then I freeze up and I don't read anything. And I just watch hours and hours of Top Chef because it's my favorite show. And we don't want to fall into that black hole again. We need to keep reading. We need to have content. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of these books. If there's any that you've read, any that you've loved, not loved, let's start a discussion. I want to hear what you guys think, because that's why we started this channel. Let's have a discussion. I need someone to talk to. All right, guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. Leave me a comment down below, and hopefully I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.